That was incredible. All right. Now, I love it. I love it. Um, I got this. I've got this tiny microphone. Um, what's going on? Hi, everyone. Uh, my name's Max. I am the best man. Um, this microphone situation is funny. I'm gonna try and keep this short and sweet so as not to embarrass the newlyweds. Um, oh yes, I've heard from a few people that I should roast Nick, but we've been friends for 20 years. Oh, that okay. We've been friends for 20 years, so I've got memories, but they also escape me, if you will. Um, so Nick and I went to high schools, so we've been friends for about 20 years. I'm also going to read. I've written about 3/4 of a toast. All right, so there's a little improv here too. Um, yeah, so we went to high school together. We're both from Manhattan, both from New York City. Went to school in Brooklyn. So we would take the train together after school sometimes. Um, if you know Nick, you know he's a pretty quiet person. He's not guarded. He's not secretive. Just quiet. Just quiet. He's a thinker, and I probably don't need to mention that he's incredibly bright as well. Um, I've always admired that about him. He could probably say quite a bit, but he's very decisive and deliberate in what he says. When we first met, I'd like to say that it was in the Commons, which is a little kind of space in our high school. We had a cafeteria, but we also had a Commons. We went to a private school, and it would be kind of a circle of us just kind of standing around chatting, and Nick would kind of hang out, and he'd be there, and he would kind of wait to get a word in, and then suddenly we'd all disperse. And I would say that that's kind of been the nature of our friendship for the last 20 years. And lo and behold, he is perhaps one of my oldest friends, actually, despite uh, a little bit of quiet. And I really value that. Somehow, between moving from New York to going to Baltimore to living in Chicago, we've stayed connected. You've always somehow shown up uh, for me, or just we've just I really appreciate that greatly. And let's see, I met Katie in Chicago when Nick moved there. What was that, 2020, 2021, something like that. It was funny because you were there for a year, but you actually didn't tell me. Um, um,
It was COVID.
yeah, it was COVID. Funny enough, he worked a block, or I worked a block away from where he lived, also. So you'd think we would have run into each other at some point. Nope. Big city. So I met Katie there, and she and Nick had us over for dinner. Us being myself and my wife Sheer. Um, and when we met that night, I mean, I think you also met Sheer that night. We went home, and let's see, we immediately, as soon as we got in the car, we were like, "Damn, I've never met a more perfectly suited couple in my life." It was kind of crazy. It was like incredible. Yeah, we just agreed that, and no offense to us, right? But we'd never met a better suited couple ever. Um, so Katie, I know you a bit less, but I'm really happy to know you, and I'm really excited to get to know you. And you compliment my friend in incredible ways. For one, you drive, and Nick is a New Yorker, which we know is code for doesn't drive. Um, and I also noticed something really great during the ceremony today. There's a lot of little things that are choreographed. There are a lot of little nuances and things. And when you went down, when you walked down from the gazebo and you filled the bottle with sand and you collected this sort of future gift for yourselves, you turn around and the choreography was a little off for a moment. But I noticed you very stylishly. Your footwear was incredible, by the way. And I noticed you turned in a way in which Nick and you had switched, sort of on the dance floor, so to speak, and you very gracefully maneuvered yourselves back into. You did like a little you know, and it was. I I just had to bring that up. And all right, so I said I'd keep it short and sweet, but those are some of the ways that I've observed that you complement each other. Where Nick is also very quiet. I have very, very minimally gotten to know the Bolins, and you all seem pretty gregarious. Is that fair to say? Great. So, uh, that being said, wonderful compliment to each other, amazing fit. I'm really, really grateful for your friendship, Nick. Katie, I am grateful, and I look forward to being your friend as well. I look forward to um, being witness to your life together, and even more so to your dance together tonight. So I'd like to raise a glass to the two of you, and congratulations. Cheers.
Aisha speaks now. So before we begin, I really wanted to acknowledge that there is somebody that we deeply miss today, and that is Patty Bolin, Katie's sister. She was supposed to be the maid of honor today, and today was supposed to be the day that I finally met this brilliant woman that I heard so much about. So as we celebrate Katie and Nick and their love and their marriage, I also want to honor the memory of Patty and all the love that she had for Katie, for Nick, and all of you. That being said, for those of you who don't know me by now, I'm Maisha. I met both Katie and Nick in graduate school in 2016. I met Katie first as she was in my year, and she was actually my office mate. So we spent basically all of that year doing homework together, chatting together. She introduced me to a lot of the dance scenes that were in University of Illinois. And I remember one particular night in October, it was near my birthday, we went out into the middle of the woods in Monticello, Illinois, at a barn dance. And that was about the same time that I finally learned what the heck a do-si-do is. And I remember at some point I took a break from the dancing and I went to the balcony and looked down at all of the dancers. And there was Katie and Nick. And I saw Nick's face because his face was facing me at the moment and Katie was facing away. I just saw Nick's face and I was just like, wow, that guy is totally in love with my office mate. It was just so obvious. It was plainly written on his face. Afterwards, we all went outside. There was this beautiful bonfire. We were sipping hot cocoa, and the Milky Way was just barely visible above us because, again, out in the middle of the woods. And I think it was the next day I went to the office, and Katie was like, is it too obvious that I'm utterly in love with Nick? Because I don't want to be too obvious. I want to play a little cool. And I was like, oh, how fortunate. Because it's totally obvious that Nick is totally in love with you. And for the record, no, I didn't think it was obvious. I didn't notice that you were in love with him at all. So with that, I'd like to raise a literal toast to the bride and groom. Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank you for making the trip to Milwaukee, Grafton, to celebrate this weekend with everyone. Up. Hey, I'd like to thank everyone for making the trip up here this weekend to celebrate this occasion. I have a hard act to follow here after these two honorariums, but I think, speaking for Sandy and myself, we're proud to have Nick as a member of our family, and we most appreciate the dedication that they've exhibited in pursuing their doctorate degrees. That's it.